the presiding chancellor of Real Life Christian University, the deputy chancellor, administration and academics, the board of regents, faculty members, program director, course advisor, ladies and gentlemen, good day. I am Noko Naimilibo Epus Achu Teken, a student with matricule number 0123, a PhD student in Educational Administration and Management with Real Life Christian University, Missouri, United States of America. I'm doing a dissertation presentation, precisely defense on the topic, a critical analysis of challenges and opportunities in implementing educational technology in developing countries, case study of some secondary schools in Meme Division of the Southwest region in Cameroon. Education is universally recognized as a cornerstone of development, and technology has emerged as a transformative tool in enhancing educational outcomes worldwide. However, in developing countries like Cameroon precisely, challenges such as limited resources, poor infrastructure, and inadequate training hinder its effective implementation. This study explores these challenges and opportunities in the unique context of Meme Division in the Southwest region of Cameroon. Looking at the problem statement, while educational technology has the potential to enhance learning outcomes, its adoption in developing regions remains inconsistent due to challenges like inadequate funding, lack of infrastructural structures, and resistance to change. In Meme Division precisely, secondary schools face these barriers, leaving the potential of educational technology unrealized. What are the purpose? This study critically examines the challenges and opportunities associated with the implementation of educational technology in secondary schools in Meme Division. It aims to understand the local context, identifying barriers, and propose actionable recommendations for successful integration. Research objectives. Looking at the primary objective, it is to analyze the challenges and opportunities of implementing educational technology in Meme Division. Are there some specific objectives? Yes. To identify the key barriers faced by schools, to assess the opportunities for influencing technology in education, and to evaluate the readiness of schools, teachers, and students for adopting educational technology. Research questions. What are the main challenges faced by secondary schools in Meme Division when implementing educational technology? Secondly, what opportunities exist for effective implementation of educational technology in secondary schools in Meme Division? How do teachers and students perceive the use of educational technology in teaching and learning processes? And finally, what strategies can be adopted to overcome the challenges and maximize the opportunities of educational technology implementation in Meme Division? Significance of the work. It provides insights for policy makers, educators, and stakeholders on how to address challenges and maximize opportunities for educational technology in developing regions, precisely Meme division. Theoretically, it adds to the body of literature on the application of technology in resource-constrained environments, highlighting context-specific and challenges and solutions. Socially, it promotes equitable access to quality education, and it bridges the digital divide in rural communities. Limitations and scope. Looking at the scope, this study focuses on secondary schools in Meme division, specifically analyzing their infrastructure, teacher training, and technology adoption. For the limitations, it is limited due to the focus on one region as far as Cameroon is concerned, which is made up of 10 different regions. There were also data collection challenges such as limited access to some schools and reluctance of participants to provide honest responses. Again, there was resource and time constraints, restricted depth of field work. Let's look at the research design and approach. A mixed methods approach combining qualitative and quantitative data collection has been used. For quantitative, surveys were administered to students, teachers, and administrators, while semi-structured interviews and focus group discussions to gather depth insight was used for qualitative approach. Purposive sampling technique was used to ensure representation from schools with varying levels of access to educational technology. Let us look at the validity and reliability of this work. Validity made use of triangulation where data from surveys, interviews, and focus groups were cross-verified. For the reliability, data collection instruments were pre-tested to ensure consistency and accuracy. Peer reviews of the methodology further strengthened the reliability. Looking at the key findings, challenges, we come to realize that poor infrastructure like unreliable electricity and internet was one of the major challenges. And when we look at the findings, we come to realize that 93% of the respondents agreed of infrastructural challenges. That is, 43% strongly agreed and 50% agreed to this particular fact. The second challenge, limited access to devices and software. When we look at the key findings, we realize that 30% of the respondents made use of smartboards, computers, tablets, and other technological devices. There was also the challenge of insufficient teacher training in educational technology. We come to realize that 40% of the respondents accepted to this particular fact. And finally, as far as challenges are concerned, we also saw that resistance to technology adoption due to cultural and attitude factor played a major role. We come to realize that 33% of the respondents accepted to this particular fact, which was also a challenge. What about the key findings as far as opportunities are concerned? The first is that there is growing awareness of technology's benefits among educators. Secondly, government initiative to improve digital literacy is of great importance as far as the findings were concerned. Finally, we also saw that there is potential for partnerships with non-governmental organizations and private companies to provide resources. Now, looking at these key findings, it is good for us to bring about recommendations. For the recommendations, there should be regular workshops and training sessions for teachers to build confidence in using technology. The next recommendation is that targeted policies should be developed for funding and infrastructure development in rural schools. Especially with the case study, we find that schools in Konye subdivision and Mbonge subdivisions, which are all subdivisions in Meme divisions, have these particular difficulties. The next, partnerships should be encouraged for collaboration with private sector and international organizations to bridge resource gaps. There should also be the engagement of local and community stakeholders to foster a supportive environment for technology adoption. Future research. The scope should be expanded to include other regions in Cameroon for cooperative analysis. Secondly, there should be a research that investigates the long-term impact of educational technology on student outcomes in rural schools. I continue to repeat rural schools because the Meme division, which is constituted of 5 subdivisions, we come to realize that most of the challenges, the key findings on the challenges, were coming from the rural subdivisions, specifically Konye subdivision and Mbonge subdivision. The next and the last is that there should be a work that explores the role of mobile technology in bridging the digital divide in developing countries. In conclusion, while the challenges of implementing educational technology in Meme division are significant, the opportunities are equally promising. With the right investments and policies, educational technology can transform learning experiences and outcomes for students in developing countries, laying the foundation for long-term socio-economic development. This research is a step towards realizing that vision. I want to appreciate you all for your time and attention and look forward to questions and any thoughts you may have about this thesis defense. Thanks.